Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, the COVID-19 Preventative Sanitation and Decontamination Practices. Thank you all for joining. My name is Emily Lee, and I am the Program and Partner Relations Coordinator with IMEC. IMEC's goal through this time of challenge and uncertainty is to help bring you answers, solutions, and good practices. Before we get started today from the presentation by our partners at AdvantaClean, I want to start with a few housekeeping items. Please remember to keep your phones on or your computers on mute for the remainder of our webinar. We are recording this webinar, so we appreciate your cooperation to minimize noise and feedback. In case you did not receive an email with the presentation slides, please check the chat window. That has a PDF copy of the slides that you can download and take notes on. As you have questions during the presentation today, please use the chat window to submit your questions. Following the webinar, AdvantaClean will respond to these questions in written form, and we will share these answers with all of our attendees today. I just wanted to draw your attention to a new service that IMEC has developed, and that's the Illinois Manufacturing Helpline. So if you have questions specific to your company, please visit the imec.org website. You can submit your questions directly to IMEC, and our experts will respond to your questions individually within about 1 business day. So this is really our goal, to get you that fast response. So with all of that said, I will go ahead and transfer over. Happy to have with us Scott Green, owner of AdvantaClean of Madison County and St. Louis South. So Scott, go ahead. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Emily. Good morning, I guess, late morning to everybody, and thank you for the opportunity for us to speak with you regarding this issue. So with that, I'll just kick it in. And I'm sorry, Emily, I don't know if you can hear me, but my slides are frozen.
Okay, give us 1 second, and I will get it.
Oh, hang on. All right, we're good.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Yep. There you go. Thank you, Scott.
Okay. So first, I'm just going to introduce to you who AdvantaClean is. AdvantaClean, we've been in business since 1994. We were established in the wake of Hurricane Andrew. So we're familiar with the disaster business in general. We are traditionally our services are emergency water cleanup, mold remediation, and air duct cleaning. No one really saw this environment coming until recently. So with that being the case, our specialized cleaning focus really gave an easy transition into the sanitization and decontamination services that we're currently offering for this COVID-19 outbreak. So we are OSHA certified in the sanitization and decontamination, and so making that transition easy. So we're going to talk about a couple of different steps. We've got proactive cleaning and some decontamination style cleaning. So the proactive cleaning is really what we're talking about is just maybe the step above your traditional janitorial work. So proactive cleaning, these are areas with known exposure to the virus, and we're going to be cleaning all horizontal surfaces, such as like doorknobs, computer keypads, operational plumbing fixtures, things like that, things that people touch on a daily basis. Our goal with this proactive cleaning is to help limit the spread of the virus in your facility. So what is the importance of the proactive cleaning? The goal with proactive cleaning, as we said earlier, is to stay ahead of the spread of COVID-19. The average incubation period is 5.1 days for the CDC. That's how long it takes for somebody to contract COVID-19 and to start showing symptoms. And the thing is during that incubation period of 5 days, people can actually still be infectious in that incubation period. So the importance of this proactive cleaning is you may have staff that are healthy now and appear to be healthy, but they have the virus, the coronavirus, and aren't showing any symptoms, but could possibly be, creating an infectious environment in your facility. The virus can also live for up to 9 days on a surface. There's been instances where that's been the case, and here recently, there's actually been some research on the Princess Carnival cruise line. I'm not sure if anybody's heard this yet or not, but it survived for 17 days. I believe that is yet to be substantiated, but that's been a report that's out there. The point is that this virus isn't like a typical flu virus where it lives on the surface for a short amount of time, hours. It can live for a very long time, an unusually long time on a surface. And then obviously just some tips on if you're choosing a contractor to do some proactive cleaning. There's a lot of options out there. But you want to look at these things when you're looking at choosing a contractor to do your proactive cleaning. Do they utilize the proper cleaning agents? Are they going to the EPA site and looking at the list of EPA approved disinfectants and choosing from there for the specific case of COVID-19? Do they have the right tools? We're using technology, electrostatic sprayers, or statically charged particles of the statically charges the molecules that are dispersed from the sprayer to cling to objects. So if we spray at a desk, they're going to cling to the bottom side of the desk. They're going to cling to the top side of the desk and the sides and all those hard to reach areas. And then do they wear PPE? And PPE is a concern for, one, the workers, if they're using chemicals and disinfectants to protect themselves from exposure to those chemicals. But it's also for the safety of the workers in another sense that, we don't know what's in the environment, so we need to make sure that we're staying healthy as the people coming in and providing these disinfections and other types of cleaning services to stay healthy so that we're not infecting your facility. And then, so what do you do if there's in your facility if you have a known virus? So just a few tips. If you get the call that says someone in your facility has been linked and has been tested positive for COVID-19, you're going to want to check your disaster emergency plan. Does it include? Do you have a response plan for those types of situations? Do you need to call the CDC or the public health department and receive guidance from them on how to handle this situation? Does this specific case require hiring an industrial hygienist? Some may, and some may be pretty simple where they don't. And then you want to call your partner contractor for dispatch for cleanup. The more preparation we have, the better chance we have of succeeding in the cleanup process. And then for your contractor, things you're going to want to look for is you want to identify, if possible, all the areas that the infected person has visited in the facility and when was the last time they were there. That helps us kind of focus on if there was an office employee that contracted COVID-19, that helps us know, okay, they were in the office. We need to really focus our efforts on the office, do some extra diligence in there. And the last time they were there, it really helps us just kind of understand where are we in the shelf life of the lifespan of this virus. And then another note on there for you guys, depending on your facility size, just so you guys can prepare, if you have a known virus and you solicit some decon services, the process can take anywhere from a couple of hours to a couple of days. Just depends on the size of the facility and the area that we're cleaning. Last night we did a couple of decons, and one of them was very small. We were in and out in an hour, very small office. So, but we've had others that are, several days to get them corrected. Okay, and what is the protocol for decontamination cleaning? This is when we have a known virus. So the first thing we're going to want to do is protect ourselves. We need to ensure the health and safety of our people. So we're going to wear, again, the proper protective clothing, PPE. So we're going to have protective suits, double gloves, wear respirators, the whole 9 yards. And then we're going to do containment. So this would be in the case that if one area of your facility is the hot zone, and then the others you're not so worried about, we're gonna contain that hot zone, and we're gonna set up a decon chamber. We're gonna have our clear zone, which is the area that no work is being performed, no disinfection is being performed. We're gonna have the transition zone, and that's our decon chamber. That's where we go in and out. So, and then we'll have our operating zone. So when we come out of the operating zone, when we're done cleaning, we go into the transition zone and we clean off. We clean off our PPE, we clean off our equipment. We clean everything before it leaves that area, just to ensure we're not cross-contaminating anything. And then when that's all said and done, we take the decon chamber down after it's been cleaned. And then what does the actual disinfecting process look like? We're again fogging with those hydrostatic pressure sprayers. And so we're going to fog the area first, and then we're going to dry microfiber wipe all horizontal surfaces 8 feet down in commonly touched areas, door handles, desk drawers, chairs, things like that. And then finally, when we're all finished, we're going to do a final fog of the space. Once we get the surface clean, that final fog is really just an opportunity for that disinfectant to sit on a clean surface and dwell. And that's what really lets that disinfectant get to work on any bacterial or viral load or anything like that. So what can you do on a daily basis? There's a few things that you guys can do to keep yourself and others healthy. And I know we've all heard it a million times, but wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. I've heard people suggest washing your hands every 20 minutes, which may be hard to do in the normal pace of life when we're working and everything. But I think the overall message is, don't just wash your hands when you use the bathroom. Don't just wash your hands when you eat. Take that extra precaution and make sure you're cleaning your hands thoroughly. Good reminders to do, after you blow your nose or cough, sneeze, anything like that, going to the bathroom, and before and after preparing or eating food. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Make sure employees stay home when they're sick. The thing is, some people are asymptomatic or have very little symptoms with this, and others have, severe and are critical condition with this. So, you may have somebody has hardly any symptoms other than just like a little tickle in their throat, and they could be, infected with the virus and be contagious. So just monitoring that, and that's obviously, I'm sure you all as professionals have your own plan in place for how you're monitoring your employees. And then cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue and throw the tissue away. And by the way, these are tips from the CDC site on protecting the health of you and others. And when this is all said and done, after you do any decon work, after you do any, you have an environment that's become affected, you're going to want to do some follow-up work. This goes back to that the proactive cleaning. It goes back to the proactive cleaning that let's try and stay on top of this and limit the amount of shutdowns that we may have throughout the course of this outbreak. So let's readdress that conversation of the proactive cleaning and get in here and try and stay on top of this. And so that goes back to that same point, touching all high touch points, fogging, all that stuff. There's a list here for you guys. And then just some other information. AdvantaClean and IMEC, we're here to help you. You can submit your questions to the Illinois Manufacturing Helpline. You receive a response from IMEC. There's a link or the site there for the IMEC helpline. And if you want any additional information or you want to speak to us at AdvantaClean, please reach out to Michelle Fawcett. Her email's there. She'd be happy to help coordinate some conversations for us. If we can help you with, even piecing together a disaster plan for this environment, that if you do need some decon services, we'd be happy to have those conversations. First and foremost, we hope you never have to deal with this situation, but we want to make sure that in the event that you do, you're prepared, and we can get through this quickly and get you guys back into business. And then just a few other points to touch on. We follow protocol as recommended by the CDC and EPA. There's no testing right now to ensure the total elimination of the coronavirus. At this point, there are some methods coming out, but it's nothing specific for the coronavirus, and they still need to be vetted yet. the process for testing. And AdvantaClean's cleaning and disinfection protocol curbs the speed and threat of COVID-19, however, cannot guarantee with 100% certainty the total eradication of it. And I think I kind of hovered over a point from a little bit ago. It's something I did want to bring up. Is I'm gonna go back a couple slides here. So somehow I missed this slide. I think I just doubled over it. I realized at the end there I missed it. But there are a few things that you guys can do just on a daily basis to help keep your facility clean. And this would be, you guys, your staff in there working to help keep it clean. So regularly clean the high touch point areas. Clean your high use items as often as you wash your hands. I think that's an important rule, because if you go from touching your keyboard to the bathroom and you wash your hands and you come back and touch your keyboard again and your keyboard's dirty, you've really kind of defeats the purpose of washing your hands. So we're recommending that throughout the day, as often as you wash your hands or whatever, keep some wipes with you and wipe down your keyboard, wipe down your phone regularly, just to help keep you protected. And then clean the main entry point and doorways. One thing we're recommending to people is if you can get wipes, keep a container of wipes by the door and take a wipe, and as you go out the door, wipe the handle down, and throw it away and move on. It's as simple as that. It's just a little extra step in your daily process. And of course, always refer to the EPA's list of approved disinfectants for regular cleaning. We prefer botanical-based cleaners. When you're not wearing PPE, the botanical-based cleaners are organic. They're derived from thyme oil, and so they're a little bit safer for you to handle and deal with than maybe some of the harsher chemicals if you're not wearing, a mask and gloves and dealing with those things. So with that, that's all the content I have, and I'm going to turn it back over to Emily.
Okay. We do have a couple of questions that have come in via the chat. Feel free to keep submitting them that way. Number one, the proactive cleaning that companies such as yours come in and do, how frequently should a company have that process done?
Yeah, good question. So we're having, it really depends on your needs and how many people you have working in there, but ideally if you could do it weekly, that would be ideal. We have other places that are doing it bi-weekly and monthly. I think the idea is that, doing something is better than doing nothing. And so if they can only afford for someone to come in monthly and do this deep cleaning, proactive cleaning, then, great, they're at least doing something to help with that.
Okay. The next question. So you talked a lot, it seemed to focus on offices and restroom areas. How does cleaning in an industrial or manufacturing facility differ, or what does that look like from your team when they've been in those types of facilities?
Yeah, it's all the same process. High touch point areas, you're going to hear us touch on that a lot. Things that people commonly touch, it's the main way that this is spread. And I understand that can be complicated in an industrial, like a manufacturing or distribution center, because there's a lot going on in those facilities. So if I'm thinking about a typical manufacturing facility, we're gonna wipe down the equipment that where people use it, whether it's a forklift or a golf cart, or if they're using some kind of a saw or just basic tools and doing things, those types of things will be covered. Shelving, where it gets complicated is if there's like hand picking and shelving and a lot of square footage. That's where it really gets into a case-by-case basis, and how far do we need to go with this cleaning.
Excellent. There was one request. Are there any specific types of products that you would recommend for companies to do themselves for cleaning keyboards, touch screens, phones? Or do you have any guidance on that?
Yeah, Lysol wipes are probably the easiest for you guys just to have handy. But again, I mentioned botanical cleaners. If you can find, now they're all in very low inventory right now,
Mm-hmm.
but if you can find some botanical-based cleaners, something like a Benefact type of product that's on the EPA approved list, like Benefact Decon 30 is one of those. That would be a good product just to kind of, it's ready to use, and you know, you put that in a spray bottle and have just a rag with you to use. I mean, the other thing is bleach solutions, they do work on these surfaces for combating this virus. So, you know, if that's what you have available, then, you know, yeah, use that.
Okay. And then another question that just came in, are there certain types of materials that the virus lives on longer? I think you might have touched on this on the very beginning, but if you could recap on that. Sure.
Yeah, there are. I don't have the list of what surfaces and they dwell. I've seen that from the CDC, and it's a pretty big list, and it even gets down to I've seen lists that contain certain metal types.
Okay.
And how they live. But yeah, it's anywhere from, you know, short term, you know, couple hours to, you know, week or, you know, longer.
Okay. And we can include that information in the written responses that we give too. So we'll get that information shared.